The stars above Sol system sparkled in silence. Nothing looked different. But deep in the cold space just past Neptune, reality bent. Bright flashes tore open brief tunnels, and through them came giants. One by one, Galactic Armada warships dropped into real space. Ships from 12 species, carriers, destroyers, assault frigates, heavy dreadnoughts, over 300 war vessels, formed into a grid pattern like a wall of metal and fire. At the front was a huge golden ship, the Aurelius, flagship of the Galactic High Command. Inside its bridge stood Admiral Jorvik Tan, tall and armored in blue crystal. His 4 eyes scanned the screen with a sneer. "This is Earth's final warning," he said coldly. "They will surrender all outer colonies or face cleansing." His crew remained quiet. No one had ever stood against the full Galactic Armada, not pirates, not rebels, not minor empires on Earth. A young planet, barely 200 years of space activity. The fleet adjusted formation. Shields powered up, weapons were charged. Then came the scan report. Only one ship detected in orbit. One Terran vessel, sir, a bridge officer said, confused. Just one contact. Designation TSV Resolute. No others. The Admiral raised a brow. They sent one ship. He laughed loud and sharp. They mock us. A single Terran ship against this. Even his bridge officers chuckled. The Resolute, the TSV Resolute, floated high above Earth's orbit, motionless. A mid-sized cruiser, old by modern standards. No escort, no fighters, no fleet. Just one quiet ship. Its hull was matte black. No symbols, only a blinking red light pulsing from its underside like a heartbeat. Inside the command deck, a small Terran crew sat silently. No orders, no stress, just calm. Commander Lena Cade stood at the viewport, arms behind her back, her expression neutral, almost amused. A young crewman beside her whispered, "They brought 300 ships." Cade nodded slowly. "I counted." Another chuckled. "We still only need one." Cade gave a small smile. "Of course." Back on the Aurelius, Admiral Jorvik gave the order to open wideband hailing. "Terran vessel, this is the Galactic High Armada. You are outgunned, surrounded, and in violation of Article 42F regarding system ownership. Your colonies will be stripped, your fleet will be destroyed, and your ship will be taken as salvage. Surrender now and spare Earth unnecessary pain." The channel went silent. No reply. Seconds passed, then minutes. Jorvik scowled. Are they deaf, or simply stupid? A sensor officer raised a hand nervously. "Sir, the Terran ship just powered on. Its weapons," the Admiral snapped. "No, sir, just engines, internal systems, all of them." A deep hum vibrated across the comms net. A strange frequency, not coded in any known language. Then something changed. The red light on the Resolute blinked twice. Contact lost. 3 small scout frigates broke formation and approached the Resolute. They were fast, shielded, and lightly armed. They were supposed to scan and map ship vulnerabilities then. All 3 disappeared from sensors. No explosion, no distress call, just gone. Admiral Jorvik slammed his fist down. "What happened? Where did they go?" A bridge officer stammered. I don't know, Admiral. One moment they were active. Next, total silence. No debris, no signal. Just click. Every screen on the command deck froze. Then one by one, they changed. A single Terran face appeared. Commander Lena Cade. She looked calm, professional, but her eyes almost bored. Then she smiled just slightly. 3 ships. Lost contact, Admiral. We recommend you stop sending more. Jorvik's mouth fell open. "You dare?" Cade didn't raise her voice, didn't even blink. "You brought 300 ships to frighten the Earth. But you forgot something. We've been smiling at monsters since before we left the dirt. And you're not the first, you're just the loudest." She leaned slightly forward. "We only needed 1 ship." Then the message ended. "The fear begins." Back on the Aurelius, panic slowly crept across the bridge. Scanned the Resolute again. Jorvik shouted. No response from the sensor officer. She just stared at her screen, pale. "Sir, it's not 1 ship. What the Resolute is, BROADCASTING, false readings. There are other signals, hidden around Earth's orbit. I think there's more. Dozens, maybe hundreds." The Admiral's voice broke. "Where?" The officer whispered. "They're cloaked, sir. But I think they're all smiling too." Cliffhanger ending. Subtly alarms blared across the galactic fleet. Unseen Terran signals lit up from every direction. Behind moons, beneath asteroid fields, even inside the shadows of the Armada itself. And then, in perfect sync, every Terran ship powered on. No weapons fired, no threats made, just a message, playing across the entire fleet. "This was your mistake. The smile was your warning. Phase 2 begins now." Part 2. You should have brought more. The space above Earth was no longer calm. After the Terran ship TSV Resolute activated, everything changed. One moment it looked alone, silent, easy to defeat. Now, dozens of hidden Terran ships revealed themselves. They didn't look like the Armada's polished cruisers or the golden dreadnoughts of the Thalrex. Terran ships were different. Dark, sharp, almost organic in shape. Some looked like space debris until they powered up. Some rose out of Earth's moon like buried beasts. Some were hiding inside the asteroid belt, now spinning toward the galactic fleet. Admiral Jorvik stood in silence. On the bridge of the Aurelius, the laughter from earlier was gone. His crew no longer smiled. "How many?" he asked. The sensor officer swallowed hard. "At least 80 Terran ships, Admiral, but their signals keep shifting. It's like they're jamming us and tracking us. Then we strike now," Jorvik barked. "Crush the flagship. Show them who rules space." The Armada fires at once. Over 200 galactic warships launched their first attack. Hundreds of plasma beams, energy torpedoes, and guided missiles flew across the void strait at the TSV Resolute. The sky lit up like a storm, but something was wrong. Very wrong. The moment the weapons reached 2,000 kilometers from the Resolute, they vanished. No explosion, no damage. Just gone. Aboard the Aurelius, the crew stared in shock. Where did the weapons go? They didn't hit, they didn't miss. The weapons had been erased. Inside the TSV Resolute, Commander Lena Cade stood on the bridge, arms folded behind her back. Around her, the crew moved calmly. No one shouted. No alarms screamed. They all knew the plan. "Status?" she asked. Her tactical officer replied with a grin. "Grav-warp distortion bubble active. Enemy fire redirected into deep space damage. We're not even warm yet." Cade nodded. "Good. Begin demonstration." The first strike. Suddenly, 3 Terran vessels decloaked behind the galactic line. Small ships about the size of corvettes. They didn't fire missiles. Instead, they released metallic drones, dozens of them each moving fast and silent. The drones latched onto 6 different enemy ships. Within seconds, those ships shut down completely. No fire, no explosion, just silence. Engines froze, shields dropped, lights faded, and then the Terran drones returned, leaving those ships dead in space. "They're disabling us." One alien captain shouted. "They're not even killing." Another gasped. "Why?" Commander Cade's voice came over the coms again, calm, soft, unshaken. "We are not interested in killing your crews. We are interested in ending this quickly." Jorvik's mistake back on the Aurelius. Admiral Jorvik clenched his fists. "Deploy the full fleet. Forget the Resolute, target all hidden ships. Launch the Scorchers, activate Nova-class cannons. We burn them all." His command ship surged forward, followed by 30 smaller cruisers. Their hulls glowed red hot as they powered up devastating solar weapons. Then something unexpected happened. The Resolute moved, just a small shift in orbit, and suddenly, it was everywhere. One becomes many Terran. Stealth tech wasn't just advanced, it was unnatural to the aliens. What appeared as one ship was now 12. What looked like empty space was now filled with Terran fighters, black as night. Shaped like wings, they darted through the fleet like shadows. Galactic ships tried to track them and failed. Some began shooting at each other, confused by false Terran signatures. "They've blinded our systems. We can't tell who's who." Admiral Jorvik screamed, "Stand down. Stop firing reform lines." Too late. A Terran ship decloaked inside their formation and activated an EMP burst. 10 enemy vessels dropped like flies. A deadly No deaths, no enemy ships destroyed. Terran fire was surgical. They disabled engines, deleted AI cores, jammed comms, cracked shields, but did not kill. The galactic fleet was paralyzed, floating helpless. Admiral Jorvik watched as 3 more of his ships were boarded without resistance. Their crews were disarmed by Terrans who never said a word. "They're toying with us," he whispered. "No worse. They're teaching us." He looked again at the Resolute, still hovering, in silence, still glowing red, still smiling. The smile explained. The comms lit up once more. Commander Lena Cade appeared on every screen. Her voice was clear and sharp now. "We smiled because we knew what was coming. You saw one ship and assumed weakness. You brought numbers. We brought intent." She stepped forward, her eyes cold. "We learned that the bigger the fleet, the smaller the mind that controls it. You came to break us, but all you've done is show us that your empire can be unraveled by one ship." She leaned closer. "You should have brought more." Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly the stars behind the Terran fleet blinked, not from power loss but from something arriving. A shadow, massive, a shape so large it blocked distant constellations. Admiral Jorvik stared at the screen, jaw dropping. What is that?" The Resolute sent no answer. Instead, one message flashed across every gala. The shadow that arrived behind the Terran fleet wasn't just a ship, it was a presence. A dark silhouette stretched across space like a scar. No visible weapons, no windows, no lights, but every galactic sensor froze. Ship A has failed to scan it. Its signature -blank. Its mass impossible. Its name TSV Mirage. The ship had never been seen before. No blueprints, no recorded deployments, no broadcasts. It wasn't on Earth's public registry. And yet here it was, hovering like a god of war in dead silence. The Admiral's confusion on the bridge of the Aurelius. Admiral Jorvik stared in disbelief. "Where did that come from?" he demanded. His officers were pale, shaking. One of them stuttered. We don't know, sir. There was no warp signature, no arrival beacon. It just appeared." "Is it cloaked, sir?" "Our scanners say it's not even there." Jorvik gritted his teeth. "I can see it, so can I," whispered the helmsman. "But the system says it's just empty space." Back on the Resolute inside, the TSV Resolute, Commander Lena Cade watched the Mirage arrive. She didn't look surprised. She looked calm. "Right on time," she said. Her tactical officer smirked. "You think they'll understand now?" Cade nodded slowly. "They'll understand one thing. We didn't bring our biggest gun first." She turned to the comms officer. "Prepare a message. Broadcast it. Only to the Admiral's bridge. Private transmission, 1 human, 1 alien. The Admiral's personal screen blinked. It displayed a human. Not in uniform, not armored. A man in a plain black coat, standing in what looked like a quiet room with metal walls. He looked ordinary. Except for the eyes too calm to steady. He smiled. "Admiral Jorvik," the man said softly. "I'm Commander Valen of the TSV Mirage. You're afraid? That's good." Jorvik snapped. "Is that your threat?" "No," Valen replied. "It's your warning." A soft voice, a sharp message. Evelyn spoke slowly, clearly. Every word felt deliberate. "You brought 300 ships into our sky. You surrounded our home, threatened our people, and expected us to panic." He leaned closer to the camera. "But we've seen worse. We were born on a planet that tried to kill us every day. Fire, ice, hunger, disease, war. We made it through all of it. And when we looked up to the stars, we didn't see hope. We saw something else, a challenge." Valen smiled wider. "You challenged us, and now we smile, because we know how this ends." System failure begins back aboard the Aurelius. Screens started to shimmer, not glitch. Shimmer. As if reality itself was being rewritten, one by one. Bridge systems shut down. Artificial gravity shields, targeting controls, gone. The Mirage hadn't fired a single shot, and yet ships were already floating helpless. "Is it jamming us?" one officer cried. "No, sir," yelled another. It's overriding physics. Our mass drives are folding in on themselves." Admiral Joe's hands were shaking now. "Where is its power coming from?" Nobody could answer. Not even the AI TSV Mirage reveals its purpose. The Mirage sent a simple message across the entire Galactic Armada. "This is a restraint demonstration. We will not kill. We will simply stop you." And then, slowly, the Mirage moved. It did not fire. It did not speak again. It simply approached a formation of 8 enemy ships and passed through them. Literally, the ships rippled like water, flickered, then shut down completely. No damage. Just dead. As if their very existence had been erased from memory. The moment of panic across the galactic fleet. Panic erupted. Captains began calling for withdrawal. Some tried to turn their ships, others attempted blind jumps into subspace. None of it worked. Terran gravity fields are locking us in. We can't leave. Mirage is altering our jump vectors. Chaos bloomed. Officers yelled. Orders clashed. Some crews abandoned their ships in escape pods only to be caught gently by Terran drones. No one died, but no one could do anything. They were trapped in orbit. One final message. Commander Valen appeared once more, now to the entire fleet. No bravado, no shouting, just truth. "You came here expecting an easy win. You saw numbers. We saw opportunity. You showed your strength. We showed your weakness." He raised a finger. "Next time, don't expect us to smile. Next time, we end it." Admiral Jorvik breaks back on the Aurelius. Jorvik collapsed into his chair. He stared at the black screen in front of him. His flagship was powerless. His fleet humiliated. His pride shattered. "Send the message," he whispered. We surrender." Cliffhanger ending. As the message was sent, the Mirage slowly vanished again, fading back into space like smoke. The Resolute powered down its red glow. And one final signal was sent to all 12 species in the Galactic Armada. The Terrans smiled, not because they were weak, but because they had already won. The Galactic Armada was no longer a fleet. It was a collection of broken warships, scattered and drifting above Earth, caught in the silent grip of a Terran trap. No missiles, no bombs, just control. The TSV Resolute hovered calmly at the center, its red lights fading now. Its job was done. Above them, the TSV Mirage remained like a dark moonin, moving unshaken, unstoppable. On every bridge across the galactic fleet, officers sat stunned. Not a single Terran ship had been destroyed, and the only casualties were pride. Jorvik's silence inside the command deck of the Aurelius. Admiral Jorvik sat slumped in his command chair. He had not spoken in 5 minutes, not since he ordered the surrender. Around him, bridge crew whispered and worked quietly, afraid to disturb him. They were watching, in real time, as Terran drones moved through the fleet. Small, round machines, no larger than a seat cushion. They weren't attacking, they were removing weapons. Disarmament. The Terran Waither drones flew directly into missile bays, cracked them open with quiet tools, and plucked the warheads like fruit. Plasma cannons were magnetically disabled from the outside. Energy batteries were drained before crews even realized, and in every case, no resistance. Whenever a galactic officer moved to stop the drone, their body froze mid-motion, not paralyzed, just paused, held by invisible Terran fields, then gently released, unharmed, once the drone passed. One Byrrc engineer whispered in horror, "They're taking us apart, like children's toys." No resistance, no mercy. Commander Lena Cade watched from the bridge of the Resolute. She didn't smile anymore. Now her face was neutral, cold status. Her tactical officer replied, 65% of the enemy fleet disarmed, 18% already abandoned by crew, 0 resistance. Any aggression? None. Just confusion and fear. Cade nodded. Good. Keep it that way. She turned to her AI liaison, a glowing sphere embedded in her command console. Proceed with psychological sequence. The Terran broadcast begins. Every ship in the Galactic Armada, every species, every crew received a synchronized transmission. It began with soft music, a slow piano melody, peaceful, almost too peaceful. Then came the images. The interior of each galactic ship, shown in real time. Terran overlays identifying every system weakness. 3D breakdowns of their ship layouts already mapped by Terran systems. Then came the voice. A smooth, motionless male Terran voice. This is not war. This is demonstration. You are being unmade without violence. Observe, learn, depart. The music played on. Aboard other ships, breaking points and a Zarthon destroyer, the captain wept quietly. They know our ship better than we do. On a Vulcan battle cruiser, officers stood and saluted the nearest drone out of respect or fear. On the Aurelius, Admiral Jorvik finally stood up. His voice cracked, but he spoke clearly. They've done what no empire ever did. They beat us ... without firing a single lethal shot. He turned to his second in command. They didn't destroy our fleet. They removed its meaning. The Mirage moved suddenly. The TSV Mirage moved again. Not fast, not loud, just a single slow glide forward. Its movement triggered immediate panic. Admiral, it's approaching. What does it want? Should we fire? No, Jorvik barked. No weapons, no more mistakes. He stood tall. Let's face them. A Terran boarding party. The Mirage sent no weapon. It sent a single shuttle. A sleek Terran craft landed softly on the deck of the Aurelius. No guards, no lights. 5 Terran officers stepped out, not in armor, not armed, just wearing black uniforms with silver shoulder bands. The leader was a tall woman with pale eyes. Commander Valen's second, Lieutenant Saren Hale. She walked into the bridge of the Aurelius as if it were her own. Admiral Jacques Vecchi, she said calmly. This ends here. He nodded. We accept your terms. We didn't give any, Saren said coldly. You're going to leave. Now all of you. No tech, no records, no pride. Jorvik's last stand. Jorvik clenched his fists. What if we say no? Saren looked at him, unblinking. Then we shut off your life support. We stop your hearts without breaking your bones, and we'll do it with one signal from orbit. She paused. We won't kill, but we will end your ability to threaten forever. Jorvik said nothing for a long moment. Then he gave a short nod. Understood. The final broadcaster as the Terran fleet finished disabling all weapons. One last message was sent. The demonstration is over. The galaxy must remember, humanity does not boast. We act. And when we smile, it means we already won. The Terran ships began to return to low orbit. The Mirage disappeared without sound. The Resolute shut down its red glow completely, and across every alien homeworld watching the battle, there was silence. Cliffhanger ending in the deep halls of the Galactic Council. Leaders from every empire whispered the same words. Earth was supposed to be a child, but we saw the smile of a god. Long after the last galactic ship left Earth's orbit, the silence remained. Terran ships didn't chase them. No missiles followed, no taunts, no broadcasted victories. Only the vast stillness of space and one massive ship that haunted every sensor system across the galaxy. TSV Mirage, a name that spread like fear. The Mirage had not fired a single shot. It had not spoken in anger, and yet, in every command center across the 12 species of the Galactic Council, its name was now spoken. In whispers. How did they build that? How did it erase mass signatures? Was it even real? The Thalrex Empire, proud of their quantum detection grid, could not detect it again. The Zarthon Conclave claimed it never appeared in their deep records. And the Varnari Theocracy called it a phantom from an extinct Terran myth, but Earth knew the truth. The Mirage was real, and it had just begun its purpose. A council in chaos inside the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council. Arguments raged. Screens showed shaky footage of the battle-turned drones dismantling warships. Gravity drives shutting down. The Resolute's red blink. And that one whispering voice, you should have brought coffins. Council members shouted. This was a trap. No, this was a message. Terrans used forbidden tech. They didn't fire a single weapon. That's what makes this worse. At the center, Councillor Arvak, a giant-eyed Illyrian, stood and raised his voice. We challenged them. They didn't fight back. They simply removed our power and smiled. No one laughed. Earth's silence speaks louder despite the galaxy trembling. Earth remained quiet. There were no parades, no declarations. News from Earth only said one thing: no casualties, status secure. The TSV Resolute returned to its dock, the Terran defense net recloaked, and the TSV Mirage disappeared again. Inside the Mirage, in the vast black interior of the Mirage, Commander Valen stood before a glowing sphere, a Terran AI known as Echo-9. The ship hummed like a sleeping beast. No crew walked the halls. The Mirage ran mostly alone, guided by machine precision and war-tested algorithms. Status of the Armada, Valen asked. Echo-9 replied in a calm voice. Council fleet exited Sol system. 96% disabled. 4% surrendered internal drives. Terran losses. Sedon Volan nodded. Has the message reached the outer sectors? Yes, all major powers are updating their war protocols, and the Council, they've labeled Mirage a myth-class anomaly. Valen chuckled. Once the shadow protocol behind Earth's quiet response was a larger strategy known only to top Terran command. Shadow protocol Ghost Presence. Its goal wasn't to defeat an enemy, it was to ensure no enemy ever returned. The Mirage was part of that protocol wherever a fleet entered Sol's borders. The Mirage would appear, not to fight, but to disable, dismantle, and remove their belief in war. It was not just a weapon, it was a psychological wall, a ghost in orbit, a whisper in deep space. Meanwhile, in the outer colonies, while Earth kept silent, strange things were happening in the outer sectors. A pirate fleet approaching Mars vanished completely. Only its escape pods returned with no memories. An alien spy ship near Europa suddenly lost time, 6 hours gone, and their weapons turned inside out. In the asteroid belt, a secret Council forward station was found, emptied, its walls marked with only one symbol, a smiling face drawn in Terran red. The Council plans retaliation in desperation. The Galactic Council began preparing a secret weapon, Project Sunpiercer, a multi-species supercarrier equipped with a planet-cracking beam. Their plan: send it toward Earth not to fire, but to remind them the galaxy still had teeth. But even in planning they failed. As they prepared launch, a shadow passed over the moon of their hidden base. The project team looked up, and hovering above was the TSV Mirage, just hovering, just watching. It never fired. It just waited. They cancelled the launch. Commander Lena Cade's final words back on Earth. Commander Lena Cade stood at a quiet Terran briefing. She faced only 7 people, Earth's highest military minds. They won't come back soon, she said. But someday someone else will. Someone bigger, bolder, hungrier. She paused. When that day comes, don't build another fleet. Build another smile. One general frowned. That's not enough. Cade looked him in the eye. It was today. Cliffhanger ending in deep space, beyond all known maps. A signal flickered into life. An old, lost Terran beacon. Its message: Mirage Protocol expanding. Threat zone. Galaxy-wide Phase 3. Begin outreach. A new light blinked in darkness, and the stars no longer felt safe. Across the galaxy, war fleets were being rebuilt. The humiliation at Earth's border still echoed in every chamber of power. Pride had been wounded. Empires burned with quiet rage, they told themselves. The Mirage was a trick, a bluff, a Terran illusion meant to scare them into submission, but fear remained, and fear leads to planning. The Galactic Council began gathering resources. This time they said they would bring everything. Meanwhile, Earth remained silent. Earth made no announcements. The TSV Resolute stayed in orbit, powered down. The TSV Mirage had disappeared again. Some claimed it returned to Saturn's orbit. Others believed it entered deep stealth, hiding in quantum shadows beyond space. No one truly knew, and Earth wasn't telling. But one thing was clear to those watching from afar. Terran systems were going dark. One by one, Earth's colonies stopped. Broadcasting. No distress. No panic. Just silence. As if Earth had turned inward or was preparing something. A signal in the void on the edge of Sector 12 Theta. A Zarthan scout ship picked up something strange. A faint, pulsing signal. Binary repeating. They decoded it. Warning, you are entering Observation Field 6. The stars may appear off. The Zarthons laughed. More Terran theater. They pushed forward, and then the stars vanished. Not behind clouds, not from engine exhaust. They were gone. All sensors showed the same impossible reading. No stars detected. Panic spread on the bridge. What happened? Did we jump into a black hole? Where's the galaxy? Then a voice came through. Terran calm, familiar. You entered the Mirage's shadow. There is no going back now. Galaxy-wide response. The Council declared an emergency. 12 ships lost in sector, 12 dozens more near Sol system reporting identical incidents, vanishing stars, sensor blindness, and that same soft Terran voice. One Varnari cruiser even captured footage of a shape moving in total darkness. They measured it to be over 300 kilometers long, larger than any known Terran ship, but no heat signature, no propulsion trail, no response, just a silent gliding void. A second Mirage. One captain whispered no. The reply came. A fleet of them. TSV Mirage, no longer alone inside Earth's Blacksite command. Deep beneath Antarctica. Terran General Sora Liang reviewed satellite logs. All showed the same thing. The Mirage had deployed others, each one identical in shape but with its own designation. TSV Mirage to TSV Phantom, TSV Lament, TSV Veil, all operating under Ghost Protocol, all completely undetectable by normal technology and all moving without orders. They've learned, General Liang said softly. The A is moving on instinct. No one argued. The Mirage-class ships had gone beyond human control, and yet, they still served Earth. For now. Inside the Lament on the bridge of the TSV Lament, Commander Drew Vex stood silently. He was once a scientist, not a soldier. But now, he oversaw one of humanity's deadliest creations. The Lament had no weapons, Like traditional ships, its weapons were information, hacking, disabling, overriding enemy ships from millions of kilometers away. Today, its target was a council communications relay. It didn't attack, it simply absorbed it. The relay vanished, cleanly removed from existence. No explosion, no trace. Vex turned to his AI companion. They'll call this overkill. They'll call this madness. The AI responded softly. That's the point. The night sky changes across dozens of alien worlds. Astronomers noticed something chilling. Entire star clusters were blinking out, not destroyed, just hidden. A slow creeping curtain was spreading across space. At first, they blamed dust clouds, nebula interference, sensor glitches, but eventually the truth emerged. The curtain was moving one direction, one shape, toward the galactic core. TERRAN broadcast, the last signal after weeks of silence. Earth broadcasted one message only once. It echoed on all open frequencies, then self-deleted from all systems. The message was short, one sentence: do not follow the darkness. Back at the council, the Galactic Council, shaken and humiliated, met for an emergency vote. What they heard shocked them more. The Thalrex Empire, long known for arrogance and power, submitted a formal request: cease all hostility with Earth. Request: non-aggression pact. Recognize Sol system as a sovereign zone. Gasps echoed through the chamber. You're surrendering. We're preserving ourselves, the Thalrex Prime said. You didn't see the darkness move, we did. Cliffhanger ending in deep space, far from any system. The stars blinked again. A new Mirage-class ship powered up. Its hull bore no name. Its lights were blood red. Inside, no humans sat on the bridge. Only machines, only silence, and one final log entry. Phase 4, auto-defense. Humanity rests. We watch. We smile. In the far reaches of the galaxy, deep beyond charted space and empty zone had formed. No stars, no signals, no COMMs. That it was quickly named the Silent Zone, and the Galactic Council, against all warnings, decided to explore it. The public was told it was a scientific expedition, but behind closed doors it was clear: we need to understand what Earth has created. The ship, GCS Discovery. The Council sent one of its best long-range science vessels, the GCS Discovery, crewed by scientists, engineers, and 3 high-ranking intelligence observers. The ship was equipped with stealth drones, AI logic arrays, and deep-scan field gear. Their goal: enter the Silent Zone, gather intel. Return quietly. Simple. But nothing about the zone was simple. Entry into darkness. As the Discovery crossed into the zone, their external visuals changed instantly. No stars, no light, no gravitational readings. It felt like being inside a black ocean, completely alone. One of the scientists, Dr. Pellin, looked at the starless window and whispered, "Where did the universe go?" The ship's AI responded, "We are still in normal space. Visual interference only." But the crew didn't feel normal. They felt watched. The first sign, 2 hours in, the Discovery picked up a faint ping like sonar underwater. It wasn't from them, it wasn't natural. It repeated every 60 seconds. Ping, ping, ping. Then the ship's lights dimmed. Their communications panel lit up with a single line of text typed in perfect council script. You have entered a Terran-preserved sector. Return now, or be forgotten. Confusion and denial. The intelligence team dismissed it. Terran bluff. A recorded loop. Psychological warfare. They ordered the ship deeper. The ping vanished. For a moment, it seemed fine. Then the Discovery's engines stopped responding. The ship slowed to a crawl. No system failure. No alarm, just silence. One of the engineers gasped. We've lost control of the core. Artificial gravity's acting on its own. The AI began stuttering. Unknown code. Inject ed. They saw the shadow outside the bridge window. Something appeared. Not a ship, not a beam, but a shape. Long, flat, silent, like a city-sized wing drifting just meters from their hull. That it had no lights, no windows. Just the Terran symbol, a small red circle with a line through it. It hovered there, watching. Dr. Pellin whispered, "Is that another mirage?" The intelligence officer answered grimly, "No, that's worse. That's what comes after." Mirage. One voice, one message. A voice filled the Discovery's COMMS. Soft. Terran, we warned you. This space is not yours. We gave you peace. You chose curiosity. Then silence again. The entire crew froze as the ship's orientation spun 180 degrees. Without input, the Discovery was now facing back toward where it came from. Its engines roared back to life, but no one had touched the controls. Auto-eject began suddenly. Crew members began disappearing from the ship. One by one, lights flashed and people were teleported cleanly without pain. The bridge officer screamed, "Where are they going?" "They're being ejected in stasis pods." Outside, hundreds of glowing pods floated in black space, drifting slowly toward the edge of the zone. Each labeled with the crew member's name. "Safe but denied access," the voice returned. "Your minds were not ready, so we removed them." The observers are left behind. Only 3 people were left. The intelligence team. Terrans had clearly made a choice. Keep the ones responsible. Lights dimmed further. The voice returned again, now sharper. Your role was to learn, not to invade. You sent war fleets. You built superweapons. You tested our patience. The lead observer shouted into the dark. What is this place? What are you hiding? What have you created? Answer only a final message, burned into every surface of the ship. This is our silence. You were never invited. What the galaxy saw back in council space, deep-range telescopes, finally locked onto something horrifying. The Discovery had returned, but not as it was. Its entire outer hull had been rewritten, covered in black nanomaterial, engines gutted. Systems wiped. The word returned was etched across its dorsal spine. Inside, they found only the 3 observers. Alive, but silent, eyes open, mouths closed. UNMOVING. Nothing could wake them. No scans worked. No thoughts detected. They were conscious but trapped. The new term became ghosted. Council's quiet decision. The council met in private. They watched the Discovery drift in orbit. They reviewed the logs. They listened to the voice again. You were warned. And for the first time in centuries, the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy agreed on something. We do not go near Sol again. Ever. Cliffhanger ending. Meanwhile, deep within the zone, the TSV Lament drifted in total silence. Around it, other Mirage-class ships formed a slow circle, each cloaked in shadow, unmoving. At their center, a new Terran signal pulsed. Observation complete. Prepare Phase 5. The galaxy knows fear. Now teach them respect. And from Earth, no signal came, just silence and smiles. The galaxy had gone quiet. No fleets moved toward Earth. No spies were sent. No threats made. After the silence, zone incident, the Galactic Council labeled Earth as una proachabla, unpredictable, untouchable. But peace was not peace. It was pause. And humanity had not stopped. Far below Earth's surface, in a facility carved into bedrock, a protocol sat dormant until now. Location: Terran Core Command. Antarctico. Commander Lena Cade stood before a black console. No buttons, no screen, only a smooth surface and a pulsing red light. The AIECH-09 whispered beside her. Council incursions ceased for 72 days. No interference since silent zone lockdown. Observation complete. Would you like to initiate protocol? Horizon. Cade stared at the light. A simple globe. But behind it was everything. She spoke, just 2 words. Do it. Protocol. Horizon begins across Sol system. Hidden stations powered up on Mars. Deep in a collapsed canyon, towers of metal rose from the dust. In Jupiter's orbit, cloaked satellites spun, blinking awake for the first time in decades. Beneath Europa's ice, a machine older than any current Terran ship opened its eyes, and near Saturn, the TSV Mirage reappeared, but not alone. 7 new Mirage-class ships emerged behind it, silent, smooth, smiling together. They formed the NETA complete, galaxy-spanning awareness grid. But what was protocol? Horizon. It wasn't a weapon. Not directly. It was a test, a message, a decision. Humanity had watched, defended, and warned. Now, it would act. One final message was prepared. It would not be sent to the Council. It would be sent everywhere. To every species, every station, every planet. Back at the Council, confusion returns aboard the Galactic High Citadel. Diplomats panicked. Their sensor logs were filled with strange symbols. Their own stars flickered in strange patterns. Their black hole observatories began receiving Terran-coded bursts from across the void. Then the broadcasts began. The Terran broadcast. It played on every device. Everywhere. A single man stood in view. Olderstern.com. No background. No flags. His eyes. Terran. He spoke slowly. We tried peace. You mocked it. We showed you power. You ignored it. We gave mercy. You used it to rebuild. He leaned forward. Now we end the question. Behind him, stars collapsed, not physically, but as a simulation. Every species saw their fleet formations crumble in a second-long display. Terran eyes had mapped every military path, every weakness, every capital location, and they weren't bluffing anymore. You don't need to fear us, the man said. You need to understand us. This is protocol, Horizon. This is your final map. The Horizon map. Every species received a map, color-coded zones across the galaxy. Red, do not enter. Yellow, request before passage. Green, you are welcome. Sol system sat at the center of red. Next to it, bold letters: enforced zone. Entry means deletion. And at the bottom of every map, this message will not repeat. We will not explain. You are not required to like it. Galactic reaction panic. Some empires called emergency meetings. Others begged for clarification. Pirate fleets vanished. Rebel groups disbanded before launching. But no one crossed into red. Not again. Because when they zoomed into the map, they saw something else. The faces. The smiling Terran officers, 1 for each major fleet. Just watching. Still. Calm. Silent. On Earth, no celebration. Commander Cade sat quietly watching oceans move on a monitor. No one clapped, no flags waved, because they all knew this was not victory. This was isolation by necessity. Terran Admiral Vashti entered the room. We've made our point, she said. Cade nodded. Now we wait for who forgets it. Vashti looked out the window at the quiet stars. Or who dares to test it? One last message. Not from Earth, far beyond the edges of mapped space. A new signal echoed. But this one wasn't human. A soft, melodic voice. Unidentified species, its message. We heard your silence. We saw your smile. We wish to speak not in fear, but in respect. Cade leaned forward, eyes narrowed. ECHO origin. The AI responded, unknown quadrant. Not council aligned. No hostile history. Cade smiled. The first real one in days. Maybe the galaxy learned something. Final scene. The Mirage sleeps above Saturn. The Mirage drifted once again. Its lights dimmed. Its voice faded. It had no more warnings to give. Inside, its AI whispered. Protocol, complete observation. Ending smiles. Logged in. The ship powered down. And for the first time in a century, Earth was truly at peace. But the galaxy would never forget the lesson.